Welcome to the Creating Laura Stitch Victionary. Today I'm going to talk about working in garter stitch. Okay, so garter stitch is super awesome because it's a really easy way for beginner knitters to make an entire piece of fabric out of only knit stitches. How you're going to begin is by casting on, which you already know how to do from a previous Stitch Victionary video. If you don't remember, feel free to refer back to it. In this video, I'm just going to fast forward this part. Alright, I've cast on 7 stitches here, and I'm going to hold the needle with all the stitches on it in my left hand. I'm going to take this empty needle in my right hand, and I'm going to knit an entire row of knit stitches. That's also something you know how to do from a Stitch Victionary video. If you don't remember, just feel free to refer back to the knit stitch video. So here I go, knitting my 7 stitches. I just counted and I cast on 8 stitches, but that doesn't really matter because we're just making a swatch. Something that you could make out of garter stitch that would be super fun and easy would be a scarf. If you were to make a scarf, you would need to cast on probably twice as many stitches, so about 16 to 20 stitches, and then you would need to knit in garter stitch for, 3 or 4 feet. So the next thing you're going to do after we've knit one row is you're just going to flip this over, holding all the stitches in your left hand, the empty needle in your right hand, and you're going to knit another row of knit stitches. So now we have 2 rows of knit stitches, and all you're going to do to continue is flip it over, knit a row of knit stitches, flip it over, knit a row of knit stitches, flip it over, knit a row of knit stitches over and over and over again until you've completed your garment. So I'm going to knit several more rows so that you can see what this fabric looks like once it's knitted. Let's have a look at this now. If you stretch this out a little bit, you can see that there are these rows that kind of look like stripes. All these bumpy ones, that is the back of the knit stitch. These ones that are down in here that are more smooth, that's the front of the knit stitch. Now if you flip it over, it looks exactly the same. That's because this is a reversible fabric, which is perfect for a scarf or anything that you're going to see both sides of. So if you were making your garter stitch scarf, you would continue knitting rows for a really, really long time. And then when you get to the end, you're going to need to cast off. And that is the only thing that we haven't covered in the Stitch Victionary yet. It's also called binding off, and it's just how you finish. So stick around because next week we're going to cover that. I hope this was super helpful. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask them right there in the comments section at the bottom of the blog. Alright, have a fabulous day and happy knitting!